What's astonishing about Dartington is that in 1972 they had a turnover of £500,000 and a profit of £70,000, and they started only 5 years earlier. And one man designed all of the products. So the key thing about a company is to produce products that people want to buy. And that's a pretty difficult thing to do. You have to understand markets, you have to understand pricing, and in the decorative arts you have to understand design.
I think he was quite an exceptional man. He came from a very humble, ordinary working class family and achieved something quite amazing.
In 1953, a gentleman called Ronald Stanwick Wilson, who was the managing director of Weedart, gave him his first job as a salesman.
Well, it got to the point where I was beginning to get more sales, and obviously we needed an extra sales staff, and I employed Frank Soher.
Frank at Weedart saw imported Scandinavian glass. That really was their business. And he learned what progressive glass design looked like in the 1950s and really took that into its own when he started Dartington.
And one of the great things about Dartington glass is that it feels great. It feels like quality. We know that Frank was inspired immensely by Scandinavian pieces. For a start in Scandinavian designs, look at the glass. There's this immense clarity to it. It's fantastic. It vibrates with colour when you actually stick it on a windowsill. Certainly something like flame red, for example, really starts to glow.
The catalogues in the early 70s then really developed some innovative products. He started combining things together. So you have things like vases combined with candlesticks. So you'll have a candlestick, and on the packaging it tells you that you put the candle in the top, and the middle of the candlestick you fill it with water and you put a flower inside it.
It was difficult to sell because people weren't used to it. It was a challenge. And you were going to people who were saying, well, we don't sell plain glass. Don't you do anything that's cut? The answer, no.
71 was the breakthrough year for Dartington. So in 1971, they started making money. And actually, Frank started to become very rich. Frank's contract was a royalty contract, and he got royalties on every piece that was sold. And he became very, very rich.
We really did start to see a huge improvement in the sales. Obviously to do with the design of the product, and also Frank personally got a huge amount of publicity because of his lifestyle, his family, where he lived. His presence in glossy magazines obviously was the best form of advertising we could get.
He lived the life of a pop star, and it was a bit like having a celebrity for a parent. And considering he was actually designing glass, and he wasn't a pop star or a TV celebrity or anything like that, it was quite, you know, even as a child I was aware that there was something special about him, that he was somebody who achieved a lot and was a very interesting man who had a following in his own lifetime.
When it came to choosing products to relaunch to celebrate Dartington's 40th anniversary, the FT15 ship's decanter was an ideal choice. The decanter itself really shows off the craft of the glass blower. You have to virtually form the shape of the bottle before the mould is closed around the bubble.
I think his genius was in the ability to combine the sophisticated lines of Scandinavian design with the finest 18th century English glass and create over 400 designs which were of their time. They were classics of their time, and they captured the mood of the swinging 60s and 70s.
He had such creative ideas, but very commercial ideas, but he was really ahead of his time with a lot of his work.
Frank's special talent, which is a very rare talent, is the combination of skills that he brought to Dartington. Of course, he was a very experienced salesman by the time he arrived at Dartington, but he was also incredibly commercial as well. He knew what people actually wanted, and he knew what people would buy. Not only that, but he was also a great designer. His designs surely have to be design classics in glass of the 20th century. To find a man who has all of that in one person is incredibly rare. And I think that was Frank's unique talent.